So students, let us continue with the next topic, e-waste and its management. E-waste is called as electronic waste, which includes the spoiled, outdated, non-repairable electrical and electronic devices. That means in our house, if the computers are getting damaged after we have replaced some electronic items in that, or the old mobiles or anything like that, all the electronic items or the washing machine or anything in our house what is getting is replaced, the damaged thing is replaced, that is called as e-waste. These waste contain toxic metals like lead, cadmium, chromium and mercury. These are the materials which are found in the e-waste. So and then it comes the all the household items, more or less it will be containing the electronic items, it will be containing these all things in this, though also contain iron, copper, silicon, aluminum and gold, which can be recovered. So when we are giving this to the waste material shops, you can see they will be segregating these all things separately, then only they will take it to the recycling plants to where it will get recycled. Nevertheless, only 5% of e-waste produced are recycled. Only 5% of it can be recycled. Sources of e-waste: electronic devices, computers, laptops, mobile phones, printers, monitors, televisions, DVD players, calculator, toys, sport equipments, etc. These are the sources of the e-waste, from where we will get the e-waste, from the electronic items. Household electrical appliances, refrigerators, washing machine, microwave oven, mixer, grinder, water heater, etc. These are the other from the household items where we are getting the e-waste. Accessories, printing cartridges, that is in the printers we can see, batteries and the chargers. Chargers means battery chargers in the four-wheelers or two-wheelers, all other that are the chargers. E-waste include computer components 66%, telecommunication components 12%, electronic components 5%, biomedical components 7%, and other components only 6%. Now, environmental impact of e-waste. Disposal of any kind of electrical and electronic devices without knowledge can become the landfill and water pollutants. When we throw out these all electronic items as e-waste, it will cause pollutants, because we say that cadmium, mercury, these all things are found, and it will cause the pollution for the water as well as for the soil. More to know, health effects of e-waste. Lead damages central and peripheral nervous system, affect brain development in children. Damages central and the peripheral nervous system, that means peripheral nervous system will be affected and the central nervous system also will be affected. And chromium, asthmatic bronchitis. Cadmium accumulates in kidney and liver, neural damage. The neural damage means neural damage also, and it affects the kidneys also. Mercury, chronic damage to brain and respiratory system. Plastic in polyvinyl chloride burning produces dioxin, which can cause development and reproductive problem, damages and the immune system. Even in the reproductive systems also, and the dioxin which causes reproductive system damages also, and the immune system. Electronic equipments contain many hazardous heavy metals such as lead, cadmium, that can cause severe soil and the groundwater pollution. E-waste dumping yards and the places nearby are polluted and causes severe health hazards. So when this all is sent out in the landforms or the water bodies, this will cause pollutions and health issues for the human beings. Now, sewage management. The sewage management means what all the waste materials going from the household or from the toilets, these are all called as sewage. How we can manage this one? Untreated sewage or waste generated from domestic and industrial process is the leading polluter to water sources in India. Sewage water results in agriculture contamination and the environmental degradation. It causes the contamination of the agriculture fields also and the environment area or the area where we are residing. Sources of sewage wastewater. Domestic purpose or household activities. Dye and textile industry. Dye means the colors, paints or the dyes given to the clothes, that is called as dye. Leather industries, sugar and breweries industry. Sugar industries and breweries means where all the food products are made. Paper and the pulp industry. These are the where there is too much of sewage will be drained out in the water sources. Sewage or wastewater treatment method. The conventional wastewater treatment methods involve the following steps. Pre-screening because before the what all is the floating things, what all is the impurities found, that removed is called as pre-screening. Aeration, through the air, how it is getting forcing the air inside and how it is getting. The sludge and management and water reuse. The first was is pre-screening. Wastewater generated from domestic and industrial activities is screened to remove the soil and solid particles. All the solid particle which is floating or the soil content which is there, that all will be removed by the pre-screening. Aeration. Screened wastewater. After the pre-screening, the screened wastewater is then pumped into an aeration tank. Into the aeration tank it will be sent. Here the microbial contaminants are removed by the biological degradation that occurs in the presence of air. All the by using the biological degradants, these all the what is that the microbial contaminants, that means microorganisms will be removed from that. Sedimentation process. After that it will made it to settle down the impurities, that is sedimentation. In this process the solid particles in suspension form are allowed to settle. The particles that settle out from the suspension is known as the sludge. So after the settlement is over, what all the particles have been settled down, that will be is called as the sludge. Sludge removal. The sludge generated by the degradation process is transferred periodically from the tank for the safe disposal. So periodic process, slowly periodic wise it will be removed these sludges. Disinfectants. Chlorination, you know, when you get the metro water itself, the chlorine is added, that is for killing the germs. Chlorination and the ultraviolet radiation is treated water is required to remove any microorganisms contamination. The microorganisms is the contamination can be removed, or killing of the germs by done by the chlorination or the by passing out through the ultraviolet rays. Water recycling. The water will be then supplied for domestic for industrial purpose. After this all the sewage water will be recycled for the domestic and the industrial purpose. Now next is the solid waste management. How we can manage the solid waste. Solid waste mainly include municipal waste, hospital waste, industrial waste and e-waste. These are all the waste coming from the household, industries and e-waste are called as solid waste. The solid waste are dumped in the soil, which results in the landscape pollution. When these are dumped in the soil, these all will pollute the land, that you all know. Solid waste management involves the collection, treatment and proper disposing of solid material and is discarded from the household and industry activity. This all waste can be removed from the house or industries and can be properly, we have to discard in the proper places. Methods of solid waste disposal. Segregation. It is the separation of different type of waste materials like biodegradable and non-biodegradable. First we have to separate it as whether it is whether it can be decomposed under the soil or whether it will not be decomposed. First that we have to separate it. Sanitary landfills. Solid waste are dumped into low-lying areas. The layers are compacted by trucks to allow settlement. The waste material gets stabilized in about 2 to 12 months. The organic matter undergoes decomposition. So after that we have to, after segregating this, which is organic matter, that all will get decomposed and which the other non-decomposed things will be carried away and taken by the trunk to where it can be recycled or settled, where we can reuse in some other way. Incineration, that is the burning of it is the burning of the non-biodegradable solid waste, medical waste in properly constructed furnace at the high temperature. So all the biological waste, that means not the clothes or the cottons, all the other waste, the tubes, what all the uses, the syringes, that all can be burned, that is that process is called as incineration. In the high temperature, these all waste will be burned from the hospitals, what all it is coming. Then composting. Biodegradable matter or the solid waste is digested by microbial action or earthworms and converted into humus. So which is biodegradable, that all will be thrown inside the deep pits or and it will be covered with the mud and it can be decomposed by the earthworms or the microorganisms found in the soil. Now recycling waste. Papers from old books, magazines and newspapers are recycled to produce papers in the paper mills. Then agriculture waste like coconut shells, jute, cotton stalk, bagasse of sugarcane, that means waste materials, can be used to make the paper and the hardboard. Paddy husk can be used as a livestock for fodder. Husk of the paddy can be used as a livestock, means for the cattle or the animals, can be used as a fodder, means food material, food. Cow dung and other organic waste can be used in gobar gas plant to provide biogas and the manure for fields. Already we have studied biogas. From the cow dung we can make use of biogas, which can be used for the cooking purpose or for the fuel. 4R approach. The 4R approach, such as reduce, reuse, recovery, and recycle, may be followed for the effective waste management. Up to last year, you studied only 3R. Now it is the 4R, that is the recovery. How we can recover from them the new things, that is recovery and recycle, may be followed for the effective waste management. So here ends this lesson, and the notes I will send it in the next class. Thank you, students.